What is up, guys? Welcome to Tabletops. We're going to be going over some of the top sales this year in 2024, ending up this year, going into 2025. These are some of the top games we've sold here at Tabletops. Hold on tight. See if you can guess which one you think made the top of the list. There's a couple here that aren't available for me to show off, so there's some guesses that you might have. See what you have. We're going to check them out. Hold on tight. All right, I'm going to start off with number 5. And unfortunately, both number 5 and number 1 are both out of stock currently, so won't be able to show them up, but I'll show them off in the corner here whenever we get a chance to look at them. But the first one, number 5, was Charterstone on the sale. This is one of those unique games that I really like, and I'll show it off, like I said, right here. Put in this little square, future me. There you go. And so Charterstone is one of my favorite legacy games. I usually promote it that way. It's one of the few legacy games that when you're playing through it, you actually get a chance to play it later. You're building your own unique worker placement game as you go through. It's one of the ways I kind of sell it off to people. It's one of the great ways. So a lot of your legacy games, you play through them one time, you've already permanently altered the board. It's not really easy to go back and play it again. So another cool thing about it is you have the ability for multiple players to join in the game as you're progressing through. So Charterstone came in number 5. Number 4 coming this year. We've got Root here. Root was the number 4 seller here, and a lot of these numbers are potentially skewed based upon costs. This is a $60 game. I didn't do too deep of a dive into the numbers specifically on these guys, but I did look at kind of general idea of what we've sold and what the general cost was. Now I do have some honorable mentions later on that I know we've sold a lot of here at the shop, but they're cheaper games and they may not have made it into the top tiers monetarily wise. But Root here, we've gotten it. It is number 4. Very, very awesome game. Combines a lot of unique features. If you haven't checked out Root, definitely check out Board Game Geek. Get the description on this guy. It's got lots and lots of awards. Done lots of good things. So that's number 4. So number 3, you should be very familiar with. It is Catan. Catan, however you say it, it doesn't matter. It's an amazing game. Super straightforward. You can find this just about anywhere now. You can find them at Walmarts and Targets, but always support your local game store. Sometimes I have to restock at Target too because I'll have them on sale. So I don't blame anybody for saving money at all. But Catan's one of your great games. Your city builder, essentially. You're trying to gather resources to build roads and cities to get the most points. Super simple in complexity. It's one of the ones that if anybody ever comes into the store, they're looking for a game that's different, that they're not a Monopoly, not Life, not something like that they've played all their lives. This is definitely one of the great first step games. That's why it's sold so much. It's definitely an evergreen a lot of places. So, but there we go. In the ones that you did see after we did the intro, this one is the next one. Now this one may be skewed a little bit. Heat here is a racing game. You basically play as F1 race cars racing around a track here, using cards to adjust and move your speed and braking. But Heat here has sold several copies over the year. Definitely a great game. Its expansion was just right behind it, kind of in the 7 and 8 tier below it. So a lot of people who got this game continue to play it and continue to use the expansion to play on top of it. So another great fun game. This game actually came out this year, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been last year, but it's been a long year. So but this is one of those great new games that have come out recently that has made it to the top sales also. And so also the next one is going to be one of those new games that came out and made a big deal. Now unfortunately, this is one of those games I don't have in stock, but the number 1 seller here at the shop, and a lot of this has to do with the amount of availability I had to get it when it first came out, and also the hype around the game. This game was actually made as a kind of a pseudo sequel or a different change up in a very, very popular game, and that game was Wingspan. So you can guess it. Sure enough, Wormspan here was our number 1 seller here at the shop. And like I said, unfortunately, I don't have any in stock at the moment to kind of show it off, but that's why it's right here in the corner. But Wormspan uses a lot of the similar mechanics of Wingspan, so it's very approachable if you've already played it, and at the same time, it has a whole different unique element to it. So that's the number 1. But I wanted to go through, before we get done going through those top 5, there's a couple ones I wanted to do. One of my favorites here, I'm going to say you guys, is a 2-player game that I recommend to just about anyone, especially if you like strategy games. I come from a miniatures gaming background. I enjoy playing Magic, but I got into playing War Machine when I first got into the hobby a couple years back. And so this is Raptor. And Raptor is a fun little game. It's a strategy game where you are playing either the scientist or raptors. Your ultimate goal, each side has 2 win conditions. Your raptors, nope, I do scientists first. Scientists, you either tranquilize 4 or 3 of the baby raptors here and take them and capture them, or you tranquilize the mom with 5 shots to knock her out to be able to get all the babies. Or the scientist, or the raptor's job, I'm messing this up everywhere. The raptor's job is to get the raptors off of the board by moving them through your turns, or have the mama raptor eat all the scientists currently in play, which is great. It always gets everybody. I do it in that specific order, so it's the most shock with eating all the scientists. But super fun game. Play with a deck of 9 cards. Super straightforward and fun to play. So this is my honorable mention for me. I enjoyed this game, and like I said, it did come in right about number 6 on sales this year. So, and it also, it's a $35 game, so it had kind of the most accurate sales numbers too. So this may be up even higher on the ranking list as far as what we sold, but Raptor is that one. Now, as far as a couple of other ones, we're gonna move a little bit. Now, as far as a couple of the other little honorable mentions I want to throw in, these are smaller price point games that came in through the year that are really fun to play in group environments, and they kind of come in our party section here. And the first of those I want to pull out is Skull. If you have not played with Skull at all, this is a great game. It sold a ton of copies here. It's $19.99 here at the shop. And it is a bluffing game where you basically use tiles to try to make people think you have a certain thing when you don't, to make them fail at their guess. But super fun game, relatively simple, small box. Great one there. Check that one out if you haven't yet. Next one is Cockroach Poker. This is one we can hardly ever keep in the shop. I'm surprised we still have 3 left over after the holidays. But this $12 little card game, and it's, once again, it's just a simple bluffing game where you're trying to convince someone to guess wrong, and get a collection of things that they don't want. Once you collect so many of the different bugs and stuff in this game, you end up losing. So this one, another great one. Honorable mention, sold a ton of these. I think I've gone probably through maybe 15 or so of these this year, 15 or so. I had to double check and see. Sold a bunch of those. And the last one is another one that I don't have. This is a game that actually, once you get it on the table, it's one of those kind of games where you never really know who is winning until the very end. And this one is a new one this year. Courtesans, or Courtesans, I don't know how you would say it, but another great game here from Pandasaurus. And it's just a simple, straightforward, you basically have 3 cards each turn, and you can only place them in one of 3 places. You can't duplicate that. You place it in front of you, in front of an opponent, or around the table. And each one of these will ultimately dictate how many points you get at the end of each round, depending on whether or not your house that you're placing is in favor or out of favor with the queen around the table. But super fun game. Definitely check it out. Actually, you can see right there, if you can get that QR code, you can check out the rules there. I don't know if that's going to come through or not, but this is probably one of my favorites. We actually sold like 3 copies of this in one day because we sat down and played it before a tournament started, and like almost every one of the guys at the table ended up buying a copy. So super good game, super fun. All right, that's going to wrap up the top 5 of 2024 here at Tabletops Hobbies and Games. Like I said, we've got lots of other games available. So I can get myself to do it right. Yeah, we got lots of other games available throughout the store, and a lot of these have probably sold tons. I just took a quick look at the sales data to see which ones maybe we have sold the most of, and let you guys know. So if you have any other questions, make sure you drop them in the comments below. We'd love to share information with you guys about little shops and board games and all kind of stuff like that. So as always, thank you guys so much. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.